Morning, children. Welcome to English class. Today we are going to review about reading the My Mother. My Mother, written by whom? Written by Rabindranath Tagore. He is a great writer. Let's read about the poet first. Rabindranath Tagore, 1861-1941, is popularly known as a Vishwakavi and a Gurudev. He was the founder of Shantiniketan, an experimental school. He was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for his Gitanjali, the Song of Offerings. Each of his poems reflects Indian vision and love towards his motherland. He is considered the voice of Indian heritage and spiritualism. Wow. He's a great writer. Okay, he's a great writer. Let us write what the intention of this My Mother. It's an imaginative poem. Let us start. I cannot remember my mother. Only sometimes in the midst of my play, a tune seems to hover over my playthings, the tune of some song that she used to hum while rocking my cradle. Cradle, this is cradle, okay? I cannot remember my mother, a boy when he is an infant, when he is a very small kid at the time who lost his mother. The boy's feeling he has been writing now. I cannot remember my mother. Only sometimes in the midst of my play, while I'm playing, I remind my mother, but I cannot imagine very deep into the matter. A tune seems over at the time of play, and a tune seems to hover over my playthings, the tune of some song that she used to hum while rocking my cradle. While she is rocking my cradle, at the time I used to remind her, I used to feel her imagination, but I cannot remember my mother. I cannot remember my mother, but when in the early autumn morning, the season, at the time he used to remind, at the time he used to get back the memories of a mother. The smell of the leaf flowers float in the air. The scent of the morning service in the temple comes to me as the scent of my mother. Oh my God, these flowers, this morning service, temple service, and this early autumn morning, what these scenes, the situation are reminding him his mother when he lost his mother since his birth when he was infants. Are you getting my children? In stanza one, at the time midst of the play, over his playthings, and he used to listen one tune. That song was used by his mother while rocking in his cradle in the stanza 1. In stanza 2, at the early autumn morning, he used to remind, and usually flowers float in the air, and morning service in the temple remind his mother. These are the two situations in two stanzas in past situation. I cannot remember my mother only when from my bedroom window I send my eyes into the blue of the distant sky. Wow, what a sentence. I send my eyes into the blue of the distant sky. I feel that the stillness of my mother's look on my face has spread all over the sky. What an imagination! Wow, look at this pic. The person who had lost his mother at his infancy stage, he is unable to remember his mother, but he can imagine her presence when he is sending his looks into the sky in the sense whenever he's looking at the broad sky, distant sky, he can feel the stillness of his mother's look on his face spread all over the sky. What an imaginative poem it is. This kind of things can be written. Such a great person, Rabindranath Tagore. What a nice explanation about my mother. poem is really very heart touching and imaginative, and a person who lost his mother when he was an infant, really a great explanation about mother's presence even she is not with him. I hope, my dear children, you enjoy this poem, My Mother, which was written by Rabindranath Tagore. Thank you, my dear children. This is about the poem. Let's see in the next session.